It's time for Wenatchee Panther Volleyball on the NCW Life Channel. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth, Collins Fashions, Town Nissan, and Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge. Now let's go to the Wenatchee Panther Gymnasium for all the action with NCW Life Channel's Eric Granstrom and Leanne Branham.
And a good evening and welcome to Wenatchee High School for this Big Nine matchup in volleyball between the Wenatchee Panthers and the Moses Lake Chiefs. Along with Leanne Branham, I'm Eric Granstrom for all the action here tonight. And Leanne, Wenatchee's had a great season so far. They're not going to get the #1 seed, but they have a chance tonight with a win to get the #2 seed and not have to play that play-in game.
Right, and that's huge not to have that extra game. It's nice to solidify a second place and just kind of go into postseason with confidence.
It's homecoming week here at Wenatchee High School with a big game on Friday night, of course, with football, but you know, this is just as important with the volleyball matchup with the Chiefs. Talk about homecoming week and what it's been like here at Wenatchee High School this week.
It's a little crazy during homecoming week, but I like it. I think it really brings out what a school is all about, and it brings out kind of the crazy in the kids, which is super fun. You know, every day is a dress-up day, so there's been some different things today. Was some rain before the store or some, I don't know what it was, but all the kids were decked out in different colors and staff was in rainbow attire, and so it's just kind of fun. But I think like nighttime stuff, it's cool every night. There's something going on. So there's the Buff Puff where boys are playing volleyball, Powder Puff where girls are playing football, and then on Tuesday everybody went to watch the soccer team, and then Thursday, today, everybody's here to watch volleyball.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Coaches, from homecoming perspective, always worry about the distractions on all those other things you talked about. Is that a problem, you think, tonight for Wenatchee?
You know, I think it can be twofold. It can be a problem if kids get sucked up in the intensity of there's other stuff going on. However, a lot of kids come to the games that don't normally go, so we should anticipate a loud crowd, and I think that kids feed off of that. I think that they'll perform better, you know, when there's a bigger crowd.
We're going to talk to another one of the seniors coming up. Devin Anderson going to join us here on the pregame show. For these seniors, you know, time is winding down. Only 3 games left, including tonight, and then the postseason, you know. Talk about that senior and being a senior and going through homecoming week and then getting that chance to play here again.
Yeah, I think it's exciting for those kids, but it's also starting to kind of wind down and maybe be a little sad and a little like emotional about it, but it's one of those emotions that hopefully they can wrap their competitiveness into, like wanting to remember the end of your senior year by playing really hard rather than not leaving it all out on the court.
We've talked about overlooking opponents, and of course, you know, for Coach McLean, she obviously doesn't want to have any of that. But this conversation about Moses Lake, I was surprised when I got the Bruce report, and it said that all time Wenatchee leads the series 60-6.
You know, it's crazy because I was just telling Eric, when I was coaching here, it is so hard to beat Moses Lake, especially in Moses Lake. Their crowd is intense, their fans are intense, their team is intense. So the fact that Wenatchee has such a leg up on Moses Lake actually really, really surprises me. They're always tough. It's never an easy win. So I would anticipate the same thing tonight. It's not going to be easy, but I would hope, you know, stats stay true and Wenatchee can take it.
Well, they're hoping for an intense crowd here tonight. We're going to talk to Devin Anderson coming up on the pregame show. As we continue here from Wenatchee High School, it's the Panthers and the Chiefs coming up on the NCW Life Channel. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Our pregame show continues here at Wenatchee High School as the Panthers prepare to take on Moses Lake. Now visiting with Devin Anderson on our interview segment brought to you by TC Slingers. No need for wheelbarrows, rakes, or shovels. They'll place the material for you. Devin, congratulations on your senior year. How's it been for you so far?
It's been awesome. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving it.
Now, one thing that people don't know about you is that you don't actually go to school at the high school anymore, right?
No, I go to the college for Running Start.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you mix your day between taking college classes and coming to practice and then getting ready for games?
It's a great flow. I go to college, I get done by 12. I'm on track to get my AA at the same time as my high school degree, so it's been great.
Talk about this domination. Let's see, Wenatchee is now 60-6 against this particular team. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I'm not aware, no.
So I know the Chiefs, though, kind of between Eastmont and Moses Lake, you guys are close school-wise, so it's kind of that rivalry.
Oh yeah, they definitely think of us as their rivals.
And especially with a homecoming week this week, even more pressure for you guys to do well tonight?
I don't think there's a pressure. I think that we're just going to go out there and do our best like we do every game.
So talk about this team as you guys are getting ready for postseason. You know, it's second place right now, and hopefully you'll wrap that up. And so, you know, you don't have to play that first round play-in game and everything. Are you guys happy with your progression, especially for your seniors?
Oh, I definitely think that we've been progressing through the season. For postseason, I definitely think we got a great opportunity before us.
So what's key for you guys? And let's talk a little bit about the libero for people that aren't familiar with volleyball. You're kind of what are you, the pitcher? You're the quarterback? I mean, what?
In a way, yeah, a little bit about the quarterback. I try and defend the back row. It's kind of my job to make sure everyone's in the right place at the right time a little bit, yeah.
Seems like you guys have really good chemistry. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, we've been playing with each other for 2 years for sure. A couple of us for 3 years together.
Well, congrats on the season so far, and best of luck down the road, and go get them tonight.
Thank you so much.
You bet. Devin Anderson joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and take a look at the lineups and get you ready for the action here between the Chiefs and the Panthers coming up next. Welcome back once again here to Wenatchee High School as we get ready for this matchup between the Moses Lake Chiefs and the Wenatchee Panthers here on the NCW Live Channel, along with Leanne Branham. I'm Eric Granstrom here on the television station tonight. Big Nine season winding down, Leanne. We're getting ready for playoffs.
We are getting ready for playoffs.
So what's the focus here?
Win.
Win. Okay. All right. Well, and that solidifies you as the number 2 seed.
It does.
Which means, kind of sadly, in a way, you don't play at home anymore.
Right. I mean, I guess there are pros and cons about that, but you don't want to have a play-in game because what if you lose that play-in game? It's so much better to have a little break, give your bodies a break, a couple days, without playing a game, and then you can go in strong into that first round of districts.
Wenatchee, of course, these two teams played earlier in Moses Lake, with Wenatchee having really no trouble with the Chiefs. Chiefs coming in with 3-game losing streak, while Wenatchee, on the converse, has won 3 in a row coming into this. And as a coach, you want to see that as well as you get ready for the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. This is about the time where you want to start peaking. Everybody thinks it's so important to be playing at the top of your game at the beginning of the year, but it's absolutely not. This is when you want to see a team start to peak.
How do you see that as a coach, looking at Wenatchee here tonight, as far as the peaking? Is that good passing, good communication, not necessarily individual play, but team play?
Team play, yeah, definitely peaking as a team, and as well as like injuries and stuff. This is the time of the year you want to see people back, and you want to see your team strong. You want to finish season, I think, as strong as you possibly can with your strongest lineups.
Well, speaking of injuries, it looks like, anyway, that Wenatchee should be healthy for tonight's game. Of course, the last one we did, they were without a couple of key components. Looks like Lily Dexter is back for the Panthers here tonight, as well as Megan Wolf.
Yeah, I think they are both back. It looks like they're both over there warming up. So I think that can, not necessarily, it wasn't a difference maker last week, but it is as far as like momentum with kids. And the more you play with somebody, the more you get in a rhythm with them. So I think definitely it's good to be strong coming into the last couple games of the season.
The Wenatchee Panthers, warming up across the way, have some unique uniform tops on tonight.
Yes. Those are just warm-up tops, but it is they are, but it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I think as a team they tie-dyed and decorated some shirts for warm-ups for the month. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah, I kind of was a little curious about trying to play in that loose-fitting top.
Right.
I didn't know how that would work necessarily. So.
Nope, I imagine they're a little extra sweaty over there wearing 2 shirts.
Probably so. Well, you want to be warmed up and not pull anything. Let's take a look at the lineups here. First for the Chiefs, as they come in with a record of 3-6 in Big Nine play, 3-7 overall. Their head coach is Jennifer Gehring. She's assisted by Crystal Trammell, Felicia Garza, Jade Raymond, and Adnai Salmon. The starters here, as announced by Coach Gehring tonight, is Serena Hanneberg. She wears number 2. She's a 5'6" sophomore. Wearing number 6 is Gabby Rios, a 5'9" sophomore. Dayton Cirillo wears number 7. She's a 5'4" senior. Ashlyn Hanneberg, they've got 2 Hannebergs on the team. She's a 5'6" sophomore and wears number 9. Number 10 is Yasmin Shateri. She's a 5'9" junior. And Renee O's wears number 12. She's a 5'9" junior. The libero for the Moses Lake Chiefs is Krista Hutzel, a 5'4" senior. They've got a couple of girls that have also moved up from the junior varsity to help out with the varsity game here tonight. So that's the lineups for the Moses Lake Chiefs. By the way, our starting lineups brought to you by Arctic Refrigeration and Heating. For residential and commercial heating and air conditioning, it's Arctic Refrigeration and Heating. So here's your lineups for Coach Emily McLean and the Wenatchee Panthers with a record of 8-2 in Big Nine play, 9-3 overall. Getting the start, Sierra White, a 5'5" junior. Megan Wolf, a 5'7" junior. Demery Sugg, a 5'6" senior. Lily Dexter, a 5'10" junior. Allie Hallberg, a 5'11" senior. And Marissa Licken, a 6' senior. And the libero, Devin Anderson. And thanks again to Devin for joining us here on the pregame show. What a smart kid she is.
She's a very smart kid. She's a good kid.
Yeah.
That's the principal's daughter.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, not that that means you have to be smart, but you got to be a good kid.
Yeah, yeah. And the conversation was interesting, too, about, the fact she's not here during the day.
Right.
She's
right.
doing the running start, and she's going to have her AA the time she graduates. And, man, that is such an advantage for kids who can relegate their time properly and manage their time properly and do that.
Right, and still be involved in sports. I know for Devin, her and her sisters, actually, they're from the Spokane area, and they just came here a couple years ago. So for them to be able to hop right in, be part of all the sports teams and, compete, both her sister plays volleyball, who's suited up tonight with the varsity girls, and her other sister, they're twins. She actually is a swimmer. So they're just all involved. So that family is all over the place every night.
And also when we were here last winter doing the unified game, basketball game, Devin jumped right on the air with me, and she was my color commentator for several minutes of the first half of the game.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's so great.
So I asked her right away after we got off the air in the interview here just a little minute ago, I said, so you're going to help me with the broadcast again? She goes, oh, yeah, you bet.
Awesome.
I said, well, we're going to be doing both unified games this winter. The basketball games at Wenatchee and at Eastmont. So we're looking forward to that as we get ready for our winter sports schedule. But we've got to wind up the fall first as we are nearing the end of October, getting into November, and that means playoff time. But first, they have to take care of business, and Wenatchee trying to wrap up a number 2 seed out of the Big Nine with a win here tonight. We'll take a 60-second break and come back and get you ready for the start of this match between Wenatchee and Moses Lake right after this on the NCW Life channel. We're getting ready for volleyball here tonight on the NCW Life Channel. It's brought to you by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side. Town Nissan, your local East Wenatchee Nissan dealer where honesty and transparency come first. Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee, real clothes for real women. And Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge, your Town Chrysler family store where people get nice surprises. Appreciate you joining us all season long. Along with Leanne Branham, I'm Eric Grandstrom here on the NCW Life Channel. Looking ahead at the playoffs, the potential for playoffs, and it looks like the play-in games will be on Wednesday the 1st.
Correct.
Of November. And looks like Eastmont's going to have a play-in game if all things kind of shake out the way they are. West Valley's got the number 1 seed no matter what. They're 10-0 on the season in Big Nine play. Wenatchee's second, and again, if they win here tonight, they'll nail down the number 2 seed, and that means a bye. They don't have to do that play-in game. Eastmont right now is tied with Eisenhower in 3rd place at 5-4. Moses Lake at 3-6. Currently in 5th place. 6th place is Sunnyside at 1-8. Davis also 1-9 on the season, and it's 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 at the higher seed locations on that first play-in game on the 1st of November. So that's kind of the layout here as we're underway. Megan Wolf with the return, and there's a nice set for Allie Hallberg, but it's a little bit too deep on the first shots, and so the Chiefs score first. Service by Krista Hutzel. The bespeckled one approaches, and it goes to the back line. And up front to Licken. She gets it across. Now it's set across the way, and a block at the net. Licken. Going to say Demery Sugg underneath the net.
Yeah, but that was a great
get. Across the line, it was. Licken kind of took it off the head there, I think, a little bit. Point to Moses Lake. So they're up early. And the service again, back line, getting down. Is that Tyre that's in there?
No. Nope.
That's Sierra White.
Yeah,
okay.
Sierra White.
All right, so Sierra White. And Allie Hallberg a little bit off the mark here on her kill attempt. And so the Chiefs coming out firing early here in the first sets, lead at 3-0. Well, watching the two teams warm up, if that's any gauge whatsoever, looked to me like Wenatchee would have the better opportunity here. And here's a kill by Allie Hallberg that's blocked at the net, but it sails out of bounds. And so it will be a point to the Panthers, and service goes over to Wenatchee. And Demery Sugg will drop back to serve. But, that's why you throw it up and play it, because you just never know what would happen.
You never know.
So Sugg on the first service for the Panthers here, trailing at 3-1 in this first set. Good serve there. Chase around for the Chiefs. They get it across, does Yasmin Shateri. Hallberg with a beautiful little shot at the net, little dink, but Moses Lake counters. Sugg on the set to Hallberg. Hallberg with the kill, skipped across the top of the nets and returned by Moses Lake. Wenatchee gets back under its feet. Hallberg running for it, and now the shot by Moses Lake from the back row, a little bit off the mark by Gabby Rios, and a point to the Panthers. Sugg again on the service, trying to tie it up here for Wenatchee in this first set, and she does on a beautiful serve down the line. Sprawling out was Serena Hanneberg. She just couldn't get to it.
That's a hard ball when Demery serves that. It's floating. Man, when that comes to your arms, it is just moving.
Yeah. Like a knuckleball in baseball.
Yep, exactly.
There it goes,
like
same service again. This time they do get it back, and here's a shot at the net by Hanneberg. Wenatchee counters with Hallberg and a wicked hit at the net, but the counter by the Chiefs. Here's the set, and Hanneberg with the hits, and sprawling down was Wolfie. They get it back, though. Over the net does Wenatchee. Now there's a beautiful shot. Good eyes by Serena Hanneberg, finding a hole in the pond, and Wenatchee just could not get to it. Chiefs service, leading it 4-3. Well, we saw this from Davis in our last broadcast.
We did.
Where they came out in the first sets and were spirited in their efforts. Wenatchee on the return here. And a little bit off kilter, but a point there for Grace Black. Good job by Grace to stay with it.
I swear, by plays like that, you earn the point every single time when they're off kilter and they're funky.
Yeah.
You win them every time.
Instead of a nice clean
Yeah.
rotation, good clean hit.
Coaches would try to coach that.
Hallberg on the return here. Reverse set by Sugg over to the right side to Grace Black. Now shot at the net, and that was going to be almost in the net. A good job by Licken to get that over, and Sugg just to get a piece of it. Near side it goes, and a block at the net by Licken, but Moses Lake right there with the counter. There's a little dink at the net. Black sets, and Lily Dexter a little bit too soft on that right-handed shot for her. And a point to the Chiefs. They lead it 5-4. Service by Ashlyn Hanneberg. Two Hanneberg sisters out there. Hallberg with the kill. It's in. Beautiful shot. Ellie Hallberg, when she's got it dialed in, there's hardly anybody else in the Big Nine you're going to find that can. I mean, West Valley, they've got the matchup, but that's about it in the Big Nine that I've seen.
Yep, that is about it. I think that Allie will definitely, between Allie and Demery, it depends upon, what you're looking for, but I think both those girls will be in the running for MVP.
Right. It was Devin Anderson on the service. She had the little bump there. Now Moses Lake on the counter. Here's Hanneberg with a shot at the just over the net. And Sugg back to Hallberg. Hallberg a little too strong. And it goes long, and a point to Moses Lake. So we're tied for a moment, but now the Chiefs on top, 6-5. And here comes Yasmin Shateri. They list her at 5'9". I think she's bigger than 5'9". And an ace.
Yeah, she does definitely look taller. She's got a good volleyball build.
Well, that was a heck of a serve. 7-5 lead for the Chiefs here. And again, Yasmin Shateri on the service. What a good jump serve. Devin Anderson on the return. Off to Sugg, and there's a attempt at the nets by Wolf. Little dink here. Wolf got a piece of it, but they're going to call a two-hit here. Double hit for Wenatchee. I didn't see that.
It kind of bobbled off her hands as she tried to touch it. It was a hard ball.
You can have two hits off of one hand?
No, it came off both hands.
Oh,
sorry.
both hands. Okay.
Hands. I was showing two, said one.
Okay. All right, that's okay. And into the net goes Moses Lake on this point, so the Wenatchee Panthers get a point back. It's 8-6. Substitution here for Moses Lake as Krista Hutzel comes in. Also for the Panthers, Sierra White comes back in. And taking a seat is Grace Black after some quality moments. White on the service, and it's into the net. Substitution for Moses Lake. Dayton Cirillo comes back in while Hallie Walker takes a seat. And back to serve, it's Serena Hanneberg, the 5'6" sophomore. Kind of a dead spinning service there. Wolf on the hit. Back line it goes to Hutzel. Now up front, Moses Lake gets it over. That was awfully deep. Anderson on the return. Now to Dexter, but it hit the antenna and it's out.
Wenatchee needs to find some rhythm right here. I feel like they're playing a lot of like on their heel volleyball.
Right. And Coach McLean agrees. She's going to take the timeout. So will we. A 30-second break here on our broadcast as it's 10-6. Moses Lake on top here in the first set. We're back after this on the NCW Life Channel. Well, after the Wenatchee timeout, Moses Lake maintains the service here as Serena Hanneberg drops back to serve. Wenatchee trying to find a little bit of rhythm here and completely out of rhythm right now. And that service might help. Sometimes you talked about it with the timeout time lead to try to break up the streak by whomever's serving on the opposite side.
Yep, I always call that a coach's point. Coach McLean got that point right there.
Dexter on the service, and her serve. Moses Lake scrambling, but they do get it across to Anderson. Up front to Sugg, and I think that was just a miss-hit.
No one was there. No one communicated. Emery set it in front of her. Megan was running behind her for play.
Okay. Chiefs make some substitutions here. Gabby Rios comes in. She'll have the service now, leading it 11-7 here in this first set. Flat-handed service there. Good job by Sierra White to get a piece of it, but then Demery Sugg backing up. The ball goes away from her, and then nothing that Megan Wolf can do with it. Out of bounds it goes. Rios on the service. Good serve. White off to Sugg, now to Wolf. A nice kill, but Moses Lake counters. Now they need to get it over. They do by Hutzel. Off to Dexter in the back row. To Sugg. Hallberg blocked, and it goes off of Dexter out of bounds. And good elevation there by Dayton Cirillo with the nice block.
I saw that number 7 talking to her coach during timeout about the placement of her right hand to shove Allie's hits back in the court. And she did just that.
Kind of an awkward return by Sierra White, and now Hallberg with the cannon down the line. It's in.
That's the good thing with Allie right there. She's not intimidated to make a mistake. The next time she's like, give me the ball again. I want it. That's a good volleyball player.
And that's what you want out of any athlete, any leader on the team. Is when it comes crunch time, they want the ball.
Yep, absolutely.
13-8 the score, and Megan Wolf on the service. Good serve back line. Moses Lake up front to Hanneberg. And now this one's way too far. Cirillo still, I think, having the adrenaline flow from that block a couple of points ago. 13-9, Wenatchee trailing it. Wolf on the service, trying to get 2 in a row here. To Hutzel in the back line. Now to Hanneberg, and a block at the net by Sugg. Now a little tap, and nobody there. That was Ashlyn Hanneberg. Ashlyn and Serena. And it is Hutzel on the service here for Moses Lake, leading it 14-9 here in this first set. Sugg, beautiful set across the net. Moses Lake scrambling. Hutzel gets it across. Back line it goes to Wolf. To Sugg. To Hallberg. In.
I think keep going line right there. That's 2 in a row. Go there till they fix it.
Substitution, Sierra White comes out, and Grace Black comes in for Wenatchee. Meanwhile, taking a seat is Dayton Cirillo for the Chiefs. And it is Sugg on a service, except, hold on, Sierra White. They kind of made the substitution a little too quick.
They were antsy. It happens.
Our officials, by the way, Clark Wright here on the near side and Kirk Einsbar over on the far side, our head referee tonight. And the service, beautiful serve by Demery Sugg. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, that barely got past the 10-foot line. Is that right? 10-foot line?
That
Did I
is
get
correct.
that
Yes, you did. You did. I didn't even say anything because it was right. You know me, I'll correct you.
Yes, you will. And we're going to get lift here by Wenatchee. And a good play at the net by Yasmin Shateri. Obviously the best Chief on the floor.
Yeah, she's a strong player. I'd like to see her get a hold of a hit.
Mm-hmm. There's a service by Hallie Walker. Back line to Dexter. Up front to Sugg, and that Little tap by Hallberg. I thought that had danger on it because of the reverse set there, but Hallberg just took care of it. Says, I got your back.
I got your back. It's a slide. It's like a lay-in. Those basketball players are the best at that.
15-12 the score, and now Hallberg after the points on the service. That one's sky high, and that's 4 hits, and that's going to be a point to the Panthers as they close the gap here even further. Seem to have settled down after that timeout.
Yeah, I think they have settled a little bit. You're starting to see a little bit more of like unity in their team.
Hallberg on the service. Good service. Here's a set across for Hanneberg, and Dexter on the return. Sugg back to Dexter, and Hutzel back on the back line. She'll have to hit it back over. That's going to be 4.
Yep. It hung right on that net just right.
Close. Now, aside from the height on the top of the net, is there supposed to be a tensile strength there, too, as far as how much give it's supposed to have?
Yep.
Hallberg on the service. Tough service down the line, but Hanneberg is there. Now up front, and beautiful play on the front line by Shateri. Found the back corner for the point for the Chiefs. This is a good game.
This is a good game.
16-14 the score. Chiefs have led pretty much throughout. We've had a couple of ties. That's it.
Yeah.
Ashlyn Hanneberg with the service. Back line to Dexter. Off to Sugg. Back to Dexter. And that's in. Backside of the ball hit the backside of the line. And if any part of that ball hits the line, it's in, right?
It is in. Okay. And I love when refs sell their calls. As a coach, as a spectator, as a player, man, when you sell your call, no one's going to argue with you.
Yep, she did. Devin Anderson on the service here. Back line to Hutzel. Up front it comes to Walker. Now the kill by Shatari. Good job by Anderson on the return. Here's Dexter with a push. Cross as it goes. Hanneberg, this is scramble time for the Chiefs, but they get it across. Hallberg off to Sugg. Now up front. I think that was Wolf on the hit. Now back to Shateri, and Wolf was there, but couldn't quite get the angle on it, and so it's a point to the Chiefs.
Yeah, Wenatchee needs to start dumping closer in, right in that little baby pond, right over the middle blocker. You'll notice they're all pushing it a little bit deep.
So it's Shateri on the service. 17-15, Chiefs on top, and that one a little short. Hutzel will come in to replace her. And it will be White coming in again for Black.
That's funny.
I hadn't thought about that until just now. 17-16. Ebony and Ivory happening here at Wenatchee High School. So back line, it goes on the service. Good service by Sierra. Up front, there's a kill, but right there is Hallberg. Now to Anderson, now to Wolf. Down the line, that was Dexter, and it's going out of bounds at a point to Wenatchee.
Perfect.
And we're tied at 17.
There's that line shot. They need to go there all day. It's working.
Sierra White again on the service for Wenatchee. Service to the back line. Backing up was Cox. Now front it goes. Moses Lake kind of out of sorts there. And there's another nice kill down the line. Finding the back row was Dexter. And a point for Wenatchee. And the Panthers lead for the first time in this first set. 18-17. Again, White on the service. Back line to Cox. Up front, good idea. And a beautiful placement by Serena Hanneberg. And a point to the Chiefs. So out comes Hallie Walker. Back in comes Dayton Cirillo. And the service here, back line to Hallberg. Off to White, and then a little tap by Wolf. Up front, here's the kill attempt. And Wenatchee on the block. You had Wolf and Sugg side by side. It goes off of Wolf's hands and trickles down, falling helplessly to the court. 19-18 our score. Chiefs on top. Service again by Hanneberg. Back line to Sugg. Now up to Sugg on a left-handed touch down the line, and scramble for Moses Lake, and it's out. Hutzel trying to help out on the scramble here near side by Cirillo. Just couldn't quite get to it. Tied at 19 again, and Dexter on the service for the Panthers. That's a deep shot.
Nice serve.
It's in!
Nice serve.
Willie Dexter missing a little time with an injury. Was it a knee? I'm trying to remember.
No, her shoulder.
Shoulder,
her
that's
shoulder.
right.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of like a stretched rotator cuff. She's doing okay. May someday have to have surgery.
Okay. Back line it goes. Moses Lake just gets it across. Wenatchee says, okay, have it back again. Chiefs kind of scrambling here. Sugg. Back it goes to Wolf. Moses Lake gets it across. Back to the back line. Anderson to Sugg to Hallberg.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
my.
Wow. Look at 7. She was scared right there.
Yeah.
She turned around scared.
Yeah, that would be a little nerve-wracking with that ball coming at you at about 172 miles an hour.
I'm nervous over here. What happens if she miss hits?
21-19 our score. Timeout taken by the Chiefs. We'll take a 30-second break and come back. You're watching Big 9 Volleyball on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be right back. (21-19) and a very spirited first set here. Best of 5. Wenatchee after the points will be on the service. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining here in this first set. They get 2 per set. And Dexter on the service. Back line it goes to Cox. Up front to Hanneberg. Now a little tap at the nets. Sugg is right there. Off to Cox. Now to Hallberg. Moses Lake giving it across, however. That was a great idea by Allie, and it paid off 2 hits later. And Serena Hanneberg, you can kind of see how it's been a tough season for Moses Lake when she tucks her face inside her shirt, going, oh, I've seen this before. But there's a nice
familiar.
hit. Yeah. Sugg gets it back across. Cox scrambling. Hanneberg up front over the right side, and a block at the net, but not much that Demery could do there, as Serena Hanneberg and Gabby Rios combined for the point. Chiefs staying in it here, 22-20. And a service for Gabby Rios, who just got the point for the Chiefs. Rios with a good serve. Sarah White on the return. Now to Hallberg on the set. It's in. Well, she's been going down the line just about this entire game. She finally does a cross-court shot and dials it right in.
Dials it right in.
23-20. Wolf on the service here for Wenatchee. Trying to finish it up here in this first set. Megan's service, good one. Back line. Up front to Hanneberg. And now the block at the net goes out of bounds, though, by Hallberg. Over the top of Renee O's. And it is a point to Moses Lake. Hutzel comes back in for the service here. 23-21, Chiefs trail it by 2. Boy, that's a tough serve. That went about 6 different directions. Wolf gets it across, scramble for Moses Lake, and they can't get to it. There was almost a collision there mid-court.
That was close.
As Hanneberg and Rios got tied up. Substitution, Hallie Walker comes in for Moses Lake. Meanwhile, for the Wenatchee Panthers, it's Marissa Licken coming back into the contest, while Demery Sugg will try to wrap it up here. 24-21 could be set point. Back line, and that one's just about set over. Licken says, okay, I'll just touch it. And that's the points, and that is the set. I'm sure a lot tighter than many would have thought, but it is a Wenatchee win here in the first set. 25-21. We'll take a 60-second break and come back here on the broadcast, which, by the way, brought to you by First Choice Collision Center, Heritage Memorial Chapel, and Wenatchee Racket and Athletic Club. 60-second timeout. We're back with more in set 2 coming up here from Wenatchee High School on the NCW Life Channel. Welcome back once again here to Wenatchee High School after the Panthers take the first set 25-21 over Moses Lake. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge, your Town Chrysler family store where people get nice surprises, and Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee. Real clothes for real women. We really appreciate our sponsors here to help bring us the broadcast on the NCW Life Channel and pay Leanne's exorbitant salary.
Yes.
We need to renegotiate, I think.
I'm here, kid-free, hanging out with you, watching volleyball.
Yeah, that should
I'm
be
good.
your pay right there.
It is true. I should pay you.
Oh, I like this. Okay.
I love my
I'll
babies,
figure it out.
but
You know,
yeah.
as you can tell, I'm a big fan of food, so that works for me too.
As you can tell.
Wenatchee, by the way, down the road here after tonight, just 2 more left, right?
Correct.
They'll be on, well, of course, the big match next week on Tuesday against Eastmont, and then they'll finish.
Well, no, they have a bye last round.
Oh,
so we
that's
have one
right.
more. Wenatchee has one more.
Okay, that's it. Wow.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah.
So senior night next Tuesday.
Big game, Eastmont senior night.
That's huge.
It's a big game.
That is huge.
I'm excited we're going to be here.
Yes, me too.
Am I invited?
Well, of course you are.
Okay.
Yes. I notice how they haven't taken the Wenatchee score off the board yet as we get ready for the
Super
second.
proud of
yeah,
it.
Yeah. And by the way, that's what we're aiming for. Just to let you know.
This is what we're going to be at.
That's where we're going to be. The first service of the game, by the way, brought to you by TC Slingers. Rock, bark, sand, soil, they place the material for you. We appreciate TC Slingers being part of the broadcast here on the NCW Life Channel. No matter what I do, Leanne, I hope you've recognized by now that I try to have fun.
I have fun with you.
Okay.
I like to make you laugh.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's. I had somebody come up to me in the grocery store here the other day. They're like, "Can you just laugh for me?" I went, "Excuse me."
Say something funny then.
I'm like, "Wait a minute. What do you? That's a really strange request."
Because they can recognize your voice?
Because they like my laugh, and
you do
because
have a good
my laugh helps them, I
Yeah,
guess. And
okay.
so but it was awkward. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I laughed.
You laughed or you left?
I laughed. I just left. Yep, left him hanging. See ya.
I feel like we should be hosting a comedy show.
I know.
Liam, it's back on the comedy show.
So the Panthers, by the way, bringing in Sydney Brownlee for the lineup here to start this second set. Who else do they have out there? Also is Megan Van Wagner.
Yep.
Service will be Demery Sugg. So we're underway. Back line to Hutzel, and that's the way you want to start it. Would like to see more of that signature celebration by Demery.
I want to see the one arm up.
Mm-hmm. Hutzel on the return. Tough one there. Front line blocked by Wenatchee. Was it a touch?
Must have been.
Yeah, well, they're still playing, so. And here's a ball at the net that just falls down, and trying to get after it, Dayton Cirillo just couldn't get to it. Good job by Wenatchee up front with Licken up there for the Panthers. 2-zip, Sugg service. Blocked by the official and the post here. So it is.
And she got a block.
And she did, yeah. And it is over to Wenatchee. Nice set there by Sugg. Over to Hallberg. Now they rotate around up front, does Moses Lake. And a kill attempt by Hanneberg. The two sisters delivering to each other. And this time, kind of a bad angle on the hit there by Van Wagner. And a point to Moses Lake.
I love Demery Sugg a lot. Her hair looks like she woke up every single morning and didn't do it. Oh, Demery.
Well, my sister had hair like that too. It's really what do I want to say? It's not thin, but it's not full, so it doesn't hold very well when you try to put it in a braid, try to put it in a ponytail.
When her hair's down, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's cute right now,
yeah.
But it's almost like she pulls it out on purpose to make it look crazy.
Well, that fits, right?
It does fit.
Block
She's
attempt
a bit
here
crazy.
by Hallberg, the kill by Hallberg. Block attempt by Moses Lake, skips out of bounds, so it's a point to the Panthers. Substitution, Dexter coming in for Brownlee. And for the Chiefs, into the game comes Licken. No, excuse me. Let me get the names right here. Walker came in for the Chiefs. I'm all flustered here. Hallberg on the service for the Panthers. Back line, it goes to Hanneberg. Now up front, and look out, there's Shakari. Shakari had the ball come right back to her, and sometimes happy accidents. Allie Hallberg got down after it and hit her hands hard enough that it went over the net.
I need to remember that. Happy accidents. You've said that before. I love that. I love that.
Back line to Hanneberg. Now up front to the sister Hanneberg. And back line, nice job by Wolf to get a hand on that. Now getting it over for the Panthers is Demery Sugg. Little touch at the line, Licken there. And here comes Dexter. Yeah, that's it. Boy, nice finger touch there.
It's very fast.
By Lily Dexter. She must play the piano.
Those are strong fingers, yeah.
5-1, Wenatchee on top here in the second set. We've got a timeout taken by the Chiefs, so we'll break away as well. A minute timeout here on the broadcast. With the Panthers leading the Chiefs, you're watching Big Nine Volleyball on the NCW Life Channel. We're back after this. Allie Hallberg on the service here after the timeout by the Chiefs. And Shateri at the line. It goes out. Good eye near side. At first, for a moment, there was a hesitation by Van Wagner, thinking that the official here near side was going to say that was in. But no, it was out. Hallberg on the service. Moses Lake Shateri gets it over to Hallberg. Now to Sugg. Now to Dexter. Nice backline return by Hannaberg. Now we're up front to Shateri, and kind of an awkward angle there. Goes right in the middle of the net.
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of making fun of Dem's hair. So I should tell everybody something kind of cool. She's been going on some visits to some different schools so that she can play ball next year, which would be awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so volleyball.
Yep, so volleyball.
All right.
I mean, I think she'd probably do either, but I think that her heart's with volleyball over basketball. Well, she actually does track as well, but I think her heart's with volleyball.
8-1, Panthers on top, in charge here the second set. Now we finally get the purple crew a little excited here. This time the ball off of Van Wagner's hands goes out of bounds. Point to the Chiefs, 8-2, Wenatchee on top. And a service here by Hallie Walker. Backline to Wolf. Now set for Licken. It's in.
That was a nice swing.
Devin Anderson replaces Licken in the lineup for the service here. Devin wearing the purple libero top, and they're going to say that was in. Ace on the serve.
Nice.
Devin with kind of a surprised look on her face, thinking that looked a little deep. But lots of eyes watching. They said it was in. Back line on the service here. Up front to Hannaberg, and I don't think it was touched. It just sails wide and is a point to Wenatchee. Another timeout going to be taken by the Chiefs. We're going to keep it right here and talk about that for Demery Suggs. So visiting.
Yeah.
So did she expect to maybe get a chance, or is this just a recent development of her making a choice, or she still has that choice in front of her?
I mean, I think the choice is still in front of her. She definitely wants to play college ball no matter what. I kind of talked to her about it, like whether she play community college, whether she goes somewhere bigger. I mean, the choice is kind of maybe up to her. She's definitely better than community college volleyball, I think. But if she did do that, she could come right in and be huge in the program. Or she could maybe choose to go somewhere bigger, maybe get a scholarship, maybe walk on, spend a year or two potentially on the bench, maybe not jump right in and play. I don't know. It's one of those decisions you really have to think about. I know for me personally, I had opportunity to go to bigger schools, but chose Central, came in right away and played, and it's the best decision I ever made. So I would definitely encourage kids to not always think that Division I is the only thing to do. I mean, kids set themselves up to spend a lot of time on the bench if they do that.
Right. Devin Anderson on the service here for the Panthers. A kill attempt at the nets, and there's Shateri again with another point for Moses Lake. That makes an 11-3 contest, and Chiefs on the service. They'll give it back to Ashlyn Hannaberg. Now, the Hannaberg sisters, they list them as both sophomores.
Yeah, they must be twins. They're definitely not identical.
I'm trying to look at it, but I don't see it. Yeah. There's Sugg, and she got it over. I think she was trying to do a little slide there to Van Wagner.
And that's, they call the back row setter attack. So basically she jumped ball over the net.
So a point to Moses Lake here. Ashlyn Hannaberg on the service. The 5'6" sophomore. Oops. Kind of got away from her a little bit. Happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us. Have you ever served a
volleyball? You know what? If they would have had volleyball in high school for boys, I would have played volleyball. I played basketball. I would have rather played volleyball.
Okay. That was your sport, was basketball?
No, my sport was football.
Okay.
Actually. Van Wagner at the nets, gives it off to Sugg, and boy, that was some interesting caroms off of hands there, but it's still playing, and Dexter with a nice kill attempt, and that's going to be a point for the Panthers. Nice job by Lily. Good to get her back in the flow of things here.
Yeah, definitely.
In a contest for the Panthers.
I haven't seen her rip on a ball, though. I'm wondering if that shoulder's still hurting her a little bit.
Van Wagner on the service. Back line. Now they chase around, and Hutzel on the shot to get it over the net to to Hallberg there. And
you laughed mid
scared.
Hallberg
I'm scared. Scared for me. Scared for them. And there's Hallberg with another point.
Allie, thank goodness Eric's not on the other side of the court because he'd be running and ducking.
I would. I'd be wearing a face mask if I was going up to try to block something like that. Beautiful service there, and that's going to be a point for Wenatchee. How about that serve by Megan Van Wagner?
It's a nice, tough serve, hard to return, definitely.
Substitution here for the Chiefs as out comes Cox and back in comes Ashlyn Hanneberg. And it is Megan Van Wagner, the 5'6" senior, on the service here for Wenatchee. To Hutzel. Up front it goes to Walker, and then they get it over. Nice play there. At the net against Shateri, and she'll get the service. Into the game also for Moses Lake comes Renee O's. And Shateri. Good jump serve. Hallberg's going to have to set it here for Dexter. Blocked at the net, and Demery Sugg looks over at her coach with the ball trickling off of her blonde hair
that helped her hair.
A strewn. It is. Yeah, it did a little bit. And it's a 15-6 contest. And Shateri again on the service for Moses Lake. Well, that's a tough serve. Devin Anderson got down after it. And here's a kill by Wolfie over on the far side.
That was nice. You don't see Wolf go down the line very often. That was a great swing.
No. I asked Megan if it's okay if I call her Wolfie. She says, well, of course.
Well, of course.
16-6 the score. And there's a beautiful serve again. Caromed off of the back line there. And Hallie Walker couldn't get squared up on it. And Dexter again on the service here for Wenatchee. In charge here in the second set after winning the first one. Near side, thought that went on the other side of the antenna.
So did I.
Hallberg with a
look
kill.
at the ref, the down ref over there.
And there's Demery Sugg trying to find the hole in the pond, but Moses Lake covers. Now Hanneberg with a block at the net by Wolf. Back line, they get it over. Here's a good volley. This one might be over. It is, and Wenatchee keeps it alive. Nice scramble. Back line it goes. Moses Lake with the counter. Devin Anderson gets after it. To Sugg, to Hallberg, and it's a point to the Panthers. Good volley back and forth.
Definitely. Good volleyball. It's good to see a team capitalize. Like when you're in situations like this, sometimes it is hard to stay up and play really intense when there is such a big lead, so it's fun to see them compete really hard for a point.
Tap at the net by Shateri again. Here's a set to Hallberg, kind of awkward, so she goes with a left-handed swing on it. Now up front, and oh, there's a nice shot down the line by Gabby Rios. She saw that Devin Anderson was kind of lonely there on the back line and took advantage of it. Kind of like a tennis player who sees that somebody set up over on the left, so they come back right. 18-7 the score, and the service for Gabby Rios, who just got the point. There's Megan Wolf again, and Megan Wolf will have the serve. Substitution also for the Panthers as Licken will be replaced here by Lauren Clark. And Dexter comes out as Sydney Brownlee comes back in. Nice job by Emily McLean to get some bodies, some fresh bodies in there. Get some good varsity time for the youngsters.
Yep, definitely important time of year to do that.
Megan Wolf on the service. 19-7, that's too deep. The looks on the faces, I hope that our camera people go in a little tight sometimes on the looks.
Just to see the
Just to see the faces. It's the smirk, literally tongue in the cheek. Sugg to Hallberg, and a nice job by Allie to follow that ball as it came back to her face. And now this one's too deep. Point to the Panthers. Cirillo with the hits. That's just reflexes.
It is.
I mean, that's just athletic reflexes. No way around that. 20-8, Panthers on top. Service by Sugg. They get it up front, and it comes near side off of O's. Now back to Sugg, and Sugg gets it across with some velocity. This one was deep, but Wolf returns it. Now Sugg over her head, and then Wolf says, all right, let's get it over. Live for another point. That one's deep, and I think that would have been out if Megan doesn't try to return it, but tough sometimes when you're an athlete and you just want to be competitive. And
one, it's hard on those because I could hear the team, some girls yelling out and a couple yelling in. So what do you do? Who do you trust?
Right.
You make your own decision right there at the end.
Hutzel on the service. Back line, it goes to Brownlee. Now to Hallberg with the kill at the net. Point to Wenatchee. And guess who's got the serve? 21-9 our score. We're going to get another substitution. Lily coming back in. Dexter comes in for Brownlee. Allie Hallberg. So I noticed that Allie looked down kind of like at the free throw line, and she was picking her spot before she backed up for the service. Is that kind of a technique?
Yeah, I suppose it's like a free throw in basketball, how you have the same thing you do. You know, you spin the ball, you bounce it 3 times, you spin it, you shoot it. It's kind of the same thing.
Okay. Because when they serve, they can't go over that back line,
correct.
Right?
After it's so right there, she's doing a jump serve. She can jump, hit the ball, and land in front of the service line. But you have to take off from behind the line.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. 22-10 after the service goes into the net. It'll be a service here for Walker for Moses Lake. And Hallberg on the return over to Dexter. And Lily, she's got a good game here.
She is having a good game.
23-10, Devin Anderson back into the lineup for Lauren Clark. And she'll have the service. Trying to wrap it up for the Panthers. Back line it goes to Hannaberg. Hannaberg, they got it over. Now a little touch at the net. Comes right back to Wenatchee. Sugg on the set for Van Wagner. Now across to Dexter. And Lily this time is out.
You'd like to zoom in on that face right there. Oh my gosh. It's one of those like, man, why did I not do it?
Well, and the difference between in and out is, what, a fraction of a centimeter of your knuckle being one in front of the other, right?
Right.
I mean, honestly.
Whatever that measurement is, yes.
And here's Sugg on the back line. Oh, look out. That skipped off the hand of Hallie Walker.
We'll take the kill.
24-11, and it's Van Wagner on the service for Wenatchee. Back in for Moses Lake comes Akayla Cox. And the service. Back line, it's in! And that's the set for Wenatchee. Panthers take care of Moses Lake in quick fashion here in the second set. 25-11 the final in that one. We'll come back with the third set on the way after this 60-second timeout. You're watching volleyball tonight here on the NCW Life Channel. It's brought to you by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side. And Town Nissan, your local East Wenatchee Nissan dealer, where honesty and transparency come first. We'll be back with the third set right after this. Don't go away. Along with Leon Branham, I'm Eric Grandstrom here on the NCW Life Channel as we bring you Big Nine volleyball tonight between the Wenatchee Panthers and the Moses Lake Chiefs. Wenatchee winning the first 2 sets here as we get ready for the third. 25-11 and 25-21 our scores so far. By the way, we never want to see them, but if an injury does happen, our injury timeout's brought to you by Confluence Health, Wenatchee's premier treatment center for all sports-related injuries. So who won the Powder Puff football game? They do a battle between the classes, or?
No, it's individual teams, and I think the soccer girls had the team that won, or there was girls from the soccer team on the winning team.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it was tough, and I guess we put together a staff team kind of at the last minute. I unfortunately bailed. I hadn't seen my hubby or kids in a few days, so I stayed home, but the staff had a team, so next year we're going to practice early and get some real outfits.
I saw the picture in the Wenatchee World of one of the staff members being carried.
Yeah, one of the cheerleaders holding one of our teachers. But Carrie is one of my good friends. She's a health teacher, and she's about like this high. She's tiny little thing. She played QB and I guess was throwing some long bombs.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Homecoming week here at Wenatchee High School, and we've got the Rowdies over there. What do they call it? A student section, but do they have a name? I know Eastmont goes by the red zone. So
yeah, we definitely don't have that, unfortunately. Really? Let's go with the purple zone.
Purple zone, it is.
Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in the cheering section tonight. It being homecoming week, I thought it would be big.
I thought you'd have a few more people here.
I definitely did.
But it's, you know, Thursday of homecoming week. It's been a long week.
Right.
And they're resting up for the big game tomorrow.
This is the big game,
Of course.
says a true volleyball player.
Yes. Oh, what a shot by Hallberg. I think it skipped off a hand at the net and still found its way in. So that would have been a point for Wenatchee no matter what. Sierra White replaced in the lineup here for Wenatchee by Zella Tyre. Zella played well last week against Davis. She's in. Demery Sugg waiting for a whistle from somebody so she can serve here. And the service by Sugg is skipping off of Hanneberg's hands. Here's Shateri up front, off to Hallberg. Now Sugg back to Hallberg, and a little tap going down to a knee was Moses Lake getting it, and there's a touch at the net by Shateri. Back line it goes to Hutzel up front, and here's Hanneberg, and nice job by the Panthers to somehow get that ball back over as Wolf got it over. Now Wolf gets it back off to Sugg, front line, and there's one in, and a beautiful hit by Lauren Clark.
That was nice to see Lauren do that. She's quick. She has potential to be a really good middle because she is very fast.
Jumped like a cat right there.
She's like a gazelle.
Yes. Sugg again on the service, up 2-0. Back line to Hanneberg, up front to Walker, and now there's a wicked hit by Shateri. And Hallberg tries to say, well, I got one of those too. And this one is over, and a beautiful, turns out to be a set right to Hallberg.
That's one of those ones where you can just start salivating. You know,
You see
hungry.
it coming. Here it comes.
Yep.
What are you going to do with this? Again, service to Sugg. Panthers up 3-0. Back line. Oh, miscommunication there. Chasing after it was Hallie Walker. But she didn't want to take it away from her teammate as Serena Hanneberg was there. And it falls for a point for Wenatchee. Walker over to Shateri. Back line, nice job by Brownlee there for Wenatchee. Here's another kill for Hallberg, and it's a point because it skipped off a hand on a block attempt up front by Hallie Walker. 5-0 Wenatchee. Sugg continues on the service. Tough serve down the line. Good job by Hanneberg to get it. Here's the other Hanneberg on a hit that was deep. Probably would have went out. Hallberg with the kill attempt. Hutzel on the return. Hanneberg to Shateri. Back line it goes to Sugg. Now a little tap of the net, but Hallberg, and she can't do anything with it. And that's one of those for Moses Lake. For Hallie Walker, a happy accident.
A happy accident. They need to stop that momentum right there.
5-1 the score, and guess who got the point, and guess who's back to serve. Back line it goes for Brownlee to Sugg. A little reverse to Hallberg, and Hallie a little bit too soft on that one. She had the right idea. Nobody in that front corner. Walker again on the service. She has a circuitous route that she takes to the ball, that's for sure. And nice job by Sugg. After going down deep was, I think, Megan Wolf, and that ball was going to go into the net, so Sugg just did a little bit of a touch.
A happy accident.
Little
Well,
help.
it wasn't really accidental. She knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah, she knew that trajectory was not good, so she just gave it a little boost. 5-3 the score. Panthers on the service. It's Hallberg. Up front to Walker. Now Shateri, and that's going to be a point for Moses Lake.
I really like that Shateri, her approach into that. Man, she just explodes in and really stays off the ground.
She loads up, too.
She does load. She's a very talented volleyball player.
5-4 the score, and a service to Ashlyn Hanneberg. And, oh, that's a tough one. Turns out to be an ace. What do we got with the signal here?
It hit the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, they said it hit the ground.
Okay. Tied at 5. Hanneberg on the service. Back line to Wolf. Up front to Sugg. Back it goes to Dexter. Dexter tried to go back corner with it. Hutzel is there, and here's Hanneberg, but kind of awkwardly approaching. Right hand on that one, hit her in the forearm. She'll come out. Kind of a dejected look on her face as Akela Cox comes in to replace her. 6-5 Panthers up by 1, and it's Devin Anderson on the service. Back line to Hutzel. Now to Shateri. Crosses over to Sugg. Sugg gets it back, and thought she was into the net there, but maybe
well,
the ball
I think that
hit
was
the
the
net.
ball in the net. I don't really
Okay.
think that Moses blocked that much, but maybe. We'll give a block to him.
Well, that was Shateri, part of that block up front. And now she'll drop back the serves, tied at 6. Yasmin Shateri, beautiful serve. Backline to Hallberg. To Sugg. Sugg on the set over far side. And Zella Tyer just kind of missed time to jump there. Hello? Oh. We might be out of rotation
Yeah,
on the
wrong-
Moses Lake side.
Wrong server, they're saying.
They're saying that Akayla Cox, number 3, maybe should have served, or that we missed a substitution here somewhere. We're tied at 6 with the timeouts and the discussion. Again, one of our officials tonight, Clark Wright, goes over to the Moses Lake coach, Jennifer Gehring, and they're taking a look at the lineup here. As Shateri is back on the back line, waiting for another serve.
Look at the Bambi eyeballs right there. Everybody's like, who, me?
Yeah, what did I do? What did we do? So they're saying that Cox did serve, and I think I did have her. I announced her serving.
Number 3?
Yeah,
She missed her last serve, I believe.
yeah. So we're trying to get the discussion figured out here at the scores table. Give me a chance to remind you our broadcast brought to you by First Choice Collision Center, Heritage Memorial Chapel, and Wenatchee Racket and Athletic Club, along with Leanne Branham. I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCW Life Channel. Appreciate you joining us for volleyball again this year. I have so much fun calling these games. I mean, especially with you, but the one I did without you, I did a couple without you, but
Right.
one all by my lonesome.
You did?
Yeah.
How did you manage?
The Lake City game against Eastmont on that Saturday. Did that one, and I had enough to talk about. So
I bet you stay more focused.
probably, yeah, because I had to fill in the gaps.
Talk to myself.
Yeah, it kind of. Oh yeah. Now I just called that. Let me describe what I think happened there. Yeah, and I was way off the mark on most of it, but that's okay.
Yes, I absolutely enjoy this. I'm super excited that you kind of welcomed me into this little crowd. Not only is it fun, but I get to sit front row and watch volleyball.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
so
that's
it's a
not
win-win.
such a bad thing.
No.
So you've got the children now.
Yeah.
Are you going to coach again?
Someday, yeah,
So-
for sure.
Your kids probably.
Yeah, my kids.
You going to wait that long? That's a long time, Mom.
You know, I take my life day by day. My stepdaughter will actually be up here next year at the high school. So we've talked about if one of the positions open up, maybe stepping back in. But I'd like for the little girls to be, I still have a baby. So I would definitely like for her to be able to at least, get a snack by herself before I leave them high and
Run
dry.
the microwave.
Yeah. There are definitely wonderful people that help take care of them, husband and grandma and
See, it's
nanny
nice
and
to
everything,
have
but
your
yeah.
crew here close.
Totally, we do. But I'd like for my kids to be a little older before I get involved. And I always think if I did get involved back with the high school, then I may not have the opportunity to coach my own little girls. And Blakely's a beast, and she's going to be fun to coach, I believe. So I don't want to miss the opportunity to coach my own kids over coaching other people's.
Sure.
I mean, as
Sure.
selfish as that might sound, that's part of me.
Oh, that's good. Now, you're the assistant athletic director.
Correct.
At Wenatchee High School.
Yes.
So, does that mean you eventually will be the athletic director when Jim Beeson says I'm done?
That does not mean that.
It does is that an aspiration of yours? I guess I should ask.
Originally I would have said yes because I worked for BJ Coons for quite a few years.
Right.
And it is an awesome job. I think it's great. I don't know. Like I just said, I really want to be a mom, and I know Jim Beeson he's gone a lot. He's got a lot of meetings. He works tons of sporting events, and I really just wouldn't get to be home. I mean, obviously the paycheck would be nice. That'd be wonderful, but is it worth not getting to raise your own kids?
Right.
So you got to take that as it goes. I really enjoy my job. I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy who I work with. And Jim Beeson's been awesome for me being a mom. He got the job, and 2 weeks later, Blakely was born.
Yeah.
So it was ready, set, go.
Good
Here's
time.
your assistant,
Yeah.
and she's on maternity leave.
So I think they got it all figured out. We're tied at 7 now, and Shateri on the service. Hallberg counters, backline to Cox, and this one's up close to the nets, and Moses Lake tips it. Sugg near side to Wolf. chasing around Shateri with the shot to the back line to Anderson. Sugg with a set. Near side, it's Dexter on the hit. Now a little tap. Good scramble by Sugg. Now it's a little bit too far for Dexter to get a hand up to. Off of Hallberg, and a point to Moses Lake, and they take the lead for the first time here in this third set. Shateri on to service. Yasmin Shateri. Oh, that one just into the nets. And she'll come out. And scrambling to put her glasses on is Krista Hutzel. See, I guess that's something else I love about watching female athletics, is that they show emotion.
They do.
And they'll smile a lot.
Right.
Even if it's not necessarily a good thing, they'll smile.
Oh, I think a smile is a cover-up for anything.
Oh, sure. And that's a block at the net for Wenatchee and a point for the Panthers.
I was going to ask you after all that conversation on me, did you ever coach?
I coached the girls coming up in softball.
Okay.
And never did the soccer thing. But that was my hope. I was actually going to be a secondary education teacher. I was going to be a high school teacher and wanted to be a coach and all that. The path took me to communications and took me to radio and all that kind of fun stuff. So
awesome.
Here I am. I was just realizing my college career ended with a broken neck.
Your college career ended with a broken neck?
In football, yeah.
Wow.
And that was 30 years ago.
Wow.
This year. It's hard to believe that much time.
What did you, like, how severe?
I had paralysis on the left side for a little while, and then I had numbness on the left side for a long time.
Wow. Everything back to normal now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I just have a really bad neck now.
Yeah. Did you fuse anything or anything?
Nope,
or no?
Nope. Didn't require surgery.
Wow. You got lucky. Yeah.
But hard to believe that was 30 years ago. For
right.
This is going to be a point to the Panthers. Or a point to Moses Lake, excuse me, all tied up at 10 now. And I would have been a good teacher, too.
Yeah.
I try to impart wisdom now. I find myself on the old guy at the radio station or at the TV station, so I don't know how that happened either. Near side to Sugg, a little tap, and a beautiful job by Demery.
It's nice. Way to see that.
Trying to get to it was Serena Hanneberg, but couldn't. Good set here so far. 11-10, and it's Dexter on the service for Wenatchee. Tipped the top of the net. Thank you very much. Renee O's. That's just got to break your concentration. The ball's coming right to you, and then it hits the net, and you get that white flash in front of you.
Right. You think it's coming right to you.
Dexter on the service again. Nice serve. There's nothing they can do with that. Squatting down Cirillo. Point to the Panthers. 13-10 here in the third set after Wenatchee won the first 25-21 and the second 25-11. Dexter. Service again, beautiful. Near side, Hanneberg. Wenatchee gets it over and a point. Well, Sierra White, I don't think she had that necessarily in mind, but she'll take it, and we will take a timeout as the Chiefs take a timeout. 14-10 our score here in set number 3. You're watching Big 9 Volleyball on the NCW Life Channel. We're back after this 30-second timeout. Welcome back once again to Wenatchee High School. Along with Leanne Branham, I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCW Life Channel. 14-10 our score. Wenatchee up by 4 after the timeout by the Chiefs. Coach Emily McLean, I'm seeing her smile a little bit here in this third set finally. She's intense.
She is intense, you know, in her volleyball life.
Yes, yes. Dexter, good service for Wenatchee. Kill at the nets. Good play there by Renee O's.
Yeah, Emily and I actually met when I first moved back home to Wenatchee and got the head coaching job. I had to hire some assistants. And so she had applied for the job, and so I kind of I think we might have gone out to coffee and hit it off, and I said, you want the job? So she's been around ever since.
Oh, that's great. She's in her, what, 5th year as head coach now?
I think this is just 4.
Fourth year,
yeah.
Okay. Service by Rios. Hallberg gets it across. Hanneberg to Hanneberg to Hanneberg. There's only 2 out there, gang, but they were both involved in all 3 hits there, and just couldn't quite get it over the net. 15-11 the score. Panthers up, and Megan Wolf on the service. Back line. Now up front to Hanneberg, across over to her sister. Nice hit there to the back line for Wenatchee. Brownlee got it back over. There's Hallberg trying to go cross court. Now O gets it over. Wolf to Sugg to Dexter. Or excuse me, is that Dexter?
Lauren Clark. Yep, I think that braid's getting you because Dexter's hair is normally braided.
Yep. And her braid's long enough, it hung down in the way of her number. 16-11 the score.
Girl problems.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we don't really have that much on the boys' side.
No.
Good scramble for Wenatchee, but oh, they do get it over. Okay, I thought that may have been a 4th hit, but it was a touch on the block attempt. This one just goes right into the nets off the hand to Gabby Rios, and a point to Wenatchee. Megan Wolf continues on the service. So when the coach is saying, okay, I want to service over here, nobody else knows what you're doing.
Right, that's why she shows,
I mean,
she's
but
pulling out her
your own
shirt.
teammates don't know where you're going with it either, right?
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
And is that just a case you're trying to find maybe whom you might think is the weakest link on the other side of the net?
You definitely try to pick on the weakest server, and I always thought it was kind of a head game if you were to just show your fingers. So there's spots on the court if you show your fingers and let the other girl see it on the other side.
I'm coming at you.
I'm coming at you. And, that can kind of make you nervous. So depending upon the kids, sometimes I wouldn't put my clipboard out, and sometimes I would just to intimidate the other team.
So if it hits the antenna at all, it's considered out.
Correct.
If it hits the line, it's considered in.
Correct.
It's an interesting dichotomy there. 17-13 is our score as Hutzel continues on the service for Moses Lake. That one's too short.
I'm sure Mr. Beeson will never watch this, so I can pick on him a little bit, but look at his outfit today.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
It's very colorful.
Well,
it is very colorful.
Like I told you, it was Rainbow Day for staff, and that was as rainbowy as he goes with his blue plaid shorts and tie-dye pink shirt.
Yeah, no, I
love him.
As soon as I saw him, I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, nice shirt.
Yep. I was proud that he was dressed up for the day. We didn't even have to tell him.
See, that's some spirit right there.
Yep.
Now, you think the wife had anything to do with that?
No.
No?
I don't.
Okay.
No. I think she would have said no. It's kind of fun in our office. There's 3 ladies and him, and so we're like his wives, daughters, sisters. We all just pick on him and have a good relationship. And a lot of Fridays, we have matching shirts, and we'll call him and tell him what to wear the next day. We plan our outfits.
So the athletic department's coming.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful hit by Allie Hallberg again coming down the line.
I love it when the game gets to the end and you're still ahead, but you're still going as hard as you can.
Timeout going to be taken by Moses Lake. Our broadcast brought to you by Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Take a walk on the wild side. And Town Nissan, your local East Wenatchee Nissan dealer, where honesty and transparency come first. Also by Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee. Real clothes for real women. And Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge, your Town Chrysler family store where people get nice surprises. So volleyball obviously was your sport of choice, but you did play other sports as well.
Yep.
And you encourage anybody to try to do multiple sports?
Absolutely. Yep. Basketball was actually my passion until about my junior year of high school. I was better at basketball than I was at volleyball, but then just kind of had more.
Did you have a growth spurt in there too? Or?
Nope. I've been the same height since like the 7th grade.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And gained like 40 pounds. Try that one.
No. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. I'm way more than 40 pounds and I've been the same height for a long time. So, okay. All right. I got you there. Here's a touch by Shateri. Good scramble by Sugg. Off to Brownlee. Then they get it over. Now they hit at the net, block at the nets off of Hanneberg, and now sprawling out, Moses Lake gets it over. There's a run and a hit by Wolf. Touch at the net, then it rolls in. Lauren Clark couldn't quite get it. And a point to Moses Lake.
That's a tough one. That's a strong matchup right there at the net with those two.
Hallie Walker on the service now for the Chiefs, trailing at 20-14 here in the 3rd set. Back line to Wolf. Sugg. Now Zella Tyre got it across. Tyre rotates around. That ball hung on the line like a tightrope walker. Where is it going to fall? It falls on the side of the stem of the volleyball, I think.
Yep. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be. Point to Wenatchee. 21-14 the score. Hallberg on the service. Back line to Hannenberg. Up front to Walker, and there's Shateri. Tried to go back line, but Wolf chases it down. Now to Dexter, and it falls. Point for the Panthers. You can just tell by the look on Lily's face. Yeah, we got a point, but that wasn't really pretty. Service by Hallberg. Speaking of not looking the best, goes into the net. Rare error for her. 22-15 the score. Wenatchee trying to wrap it up here in the third set. Take it in straight. Hannenberg on the service, though, has something else for Moses Lake to say about that. But Dexter right there at the line off of a beautiful set by Sugg up front, and she creams that ball. 23-15. And Devin Anderson rotates in for the service. Hallberg and Sugg talking a strategy there at midcourt on the service. Shatari back line out.
Devin served the last 2 points of the last game. Coincidence?
Well, that would be apropos after she joined us on the pregame show here on the NCW Life channel. So putting bookends on our broadcast, Devin Anderson. Now she just wants to finish it.
Right.
Terry.
We jinxed it.
I did the net jinx, didn't I?
The net whammy.
The net whammy.
You're welcome, Mom.
So Shateri will drop back after she got the point.
Right.
And trying to keep Moses Lake alive. And no, right into the net it goes. That was 2 in a row for her.
That was.
25-16 is our final in the third set as Wenatchee sweeps Moses Lake and they wrap up the number 2 seed in the Big Nine. They will have a first round bye and get ready for the district tournament at West Valley to try to make it to the state 4A championships. We're going to take a 2-minute break and come back and have our postgame show on the way as we continue here from Wenatchee High School. Again, Wenatchee 3-0 over Moses Lake tonight. We're back right after this on the NCW Life channel. Welcome back once again here to Wenatchee High School. One more time around, along with Leanne Branham. I'm Eric Granstrom. So we talked about it beforehand that this is one of those games they should win, nail down the number 2 seed. They did just that.
They did do just that. It's nice to see them not lose the momentum and, be able to come out in 3. It's nice because it does give the girls some fresher legs going into next week since Tuesday's a big match.
Absolutely, against Eastmont in that Cross River rivalry. 25-21, 25-11, 25-16, the finals here tonight. It was that timeout midway through the first set. After that, I don't know what Coach Emily McLean said to him, but they played a different game right after that.
Yeah, they totally did, and I think this is something we had talked about before. It's really good this time of year to be able to get a lot of your non-starters some playing time because you might be needed later on in the season. So it was a really good night for those non-starters because she did get a lot of girls in, and we were still able to capitalize.
And Lily Dexter had a good game tonight. Devin Anderson also behind the line on service for the Panthers and had some really good returns as well.
Oh, absolutely. It's fun to see these girls really start to peak like we were talking about in the pregame.
Well, Leanne, thank you once again, and we'll see you with the big matchup next week between Eastmont and Wenatchee.
Sounds good. See you guys there.
There you go. Leanne Branham, I'm Eric Granstrom, and thanks to our crew as well, Jessica and Michael, for being here and making sure that it all looks so good because, well, I'm not going to help with that much. It is Wenatchee sweeping aside Moses Lake here tonight in Big Nine Volleyball, 3-0 on the NCW Life channel. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.
Thanks for watching Wenatchee Panther Volleyball on the NCW Life channel. Today's broadcast has been presented by Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge, Town Nissan, Collins Fashions, and the Walkabout Grill in Wenatchee and Leavenworth. Bringing local sports to you, we are the NCW Life channel. Thanks for watching.